Mention Aztec basketball, and we have a tendency to forget. But since I've been broadcasting since way back when, it's good to kind of give you a little bit of history, because I was here broadcasting when Michael Cage was playing, and when Anthony was playing, and oh my God, could he play. Coach Fisher was here a moment ago and mentioned to me, is Anthony Watson getting in? I said, yeah. He said, I was in Michigan. I was watching him in high school then, and he could play. I know. And he played for Smokey Gaines back in the 80s, one of my all-time favorites. They had a time when they were going for the first time, when they went in the WAC, and they went to Laramie, Wyoming for the first time, 7,200 feet elevation. And during practice, when they brought up the altitude to Smokey, he told them that it was not a problem because the gym, like a jet plane, is pressurized so you won't feel it. And the players, not Anthony, believed him. Hey, before there was a Brandon Heath scoring, Anthony was the man back then, believe me. Latest and the last today to be inducted into the Aztec Hall of Fame, basketball star Anthony Watson.
Anthony Watson is one of the finest men's basketball players in San Diego State history. In 1986, the Western Athletic Conference Most Valuable Player, a two-time first-team All-WAC player. Watson was the leading scorer on the 1985 NCAA tournament team, left as the second leading scorer in SDSU history with 1,735 career points, which is currently third. The last Aztec player to earn League Most Valuable Player honors until 2006, when Brandon Heath received the same distinction. Anthony ended his career as the fourth leading scorer in Western Athletic Conference history, trailing only Devin Durant, Danny Ainge, and SDSU's Michael Cage. He broke the school record for points in a game when he tallied 54 against U.S. International on February 20th, 1986, an SDSU record that still stands today. Anthony led the WAC in scoring in the 85-86 season and was joined by Kim Getz, Brandon Heath, and Jamal Franklin as the only Aztec players to lead a Division I conference in scoring. Anthony Watson, a member of the 2015 Aztec Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Presenting Anthony, this makes me feel old, presenting Anthony, his oldest son, Isaiah.
It's pretty interesting seeing that. Man, I just remember back when I was 10 years old, he used to tell me stories about that, and I just thought he was lying. Like, when you tell a 10-year-old that you scored 54 points in a game with no three-point line, like, I was like, I can't even do that in my video games. I just could not believe it. Like, but it's crazy just seeing all this, all his accolades, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him, and I'm glad to be up here presenting him. You know. Not only was he just a great basketball player, but he's a great father. You know, he always wanted the best for me and my sister, and my younger sister and my younger brother. You know, he was very supportive in everything I did. You know, it's pretty crazy. One thing he always preached to us was 3 key values: hard work, dedication, and faith. He used to tell us about the nights he was in his basement, dribbling his basketball all night. And it's crazy to just see that it paid off, you know? And with faith, he just always believed that he could do anything. He used to always tell me, if you believe it, you can do it, you know? And I see it. When you score 54 points, you gotta believe you could do it. If you think, a lot of people could think that they could do it, but you gotta believe it. You gotta believe it. And I just want you guys to join me in welcoming my father, Anthony Watson.
Where Ed at? Man, Ed, I said I wasn't going to cry. Oh, man, I said I wasn't going to cry. Woo. But for me, basketball pretty much is just a metaphor of my life. And I don't want to cry. And I know all the presentees, the inductees, you got to hold in these emotions because words really doesn't explain, you know, being in the Hall of Fame of San Diego State. It's a beautiful city, beautiful campus. It's where I had a chance to grow and become a young man. I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned so much more. And to see my children, they are an extension of my limitations. You know, they're able to be who I could not be. And the reason for that is that my background, growing up in Chicago, I come from a household of 14 people that lived in a one-bedroom apartment. Once again, 14 people. My grandmother and my mother are the two of the greatest people I've ever had a chance to meet. My grandmother had 11 children. She had a live-in boyfriend and her brother living in the household. This is up until I was about 4. My mother was the oldest child. I was the oldest grandchild. My mother had me as a teenager. She had my brother as a teenager. I've seen my mother struggle, walk through winters in Chicago. I said, I'm not going to do this. The flame that she has is the torch that I carry. My mother, she made the impossible possible. I mean, my life comes from nothing. My family comes from Mississippi, which is, at the time, was the poorest state in America, and they came from the poorest county in that state, Tunica. So that's where Anthony Watson comes from. So basketball, to me, has always just been a metaphor for life. Hard work, sacrifice, dedication. Even my children. My daughter just graduated from Sdsu. I'm so proud of my oldest daughter. Because we all know there's no right way to parent. That's an on-the-job training. You know, you just do your best and hope for the best. You know, but there's pretty much 5 principles that I instilled in my children when I raised them. Put God first, so they have a moral compass. Love, so they don't have to look for it out in the world, because the world is not going to give you love. The third was encouragement. Encouragement to seek your goals. Discipline to have a purpose in life. And support. If you fail, you could always come back. And to see my children, Amber, Isaiah, Shekiah, and my youngest. Can you lift him up, Amber? God gave me one more. That's Amir. It's the hardest job in the world, but it's the most rewarding. I mean, when I wake up in the morning, I always say, you know, if I got my children and my health, it's a good day. It's a good day. It's a good day. And today is a good day. It's a beautiful day. I mean, it's been a good year. My daughter graduated, you know, with honors at Syracuse. Although she got accepted to San Diego State, she refused to go. Once again, parenting is a hard job. You always know. But I'm not going to be too much longer. But, you know, I'd just like to say how I became who I am. Pretty much, I never played basketball for the glory. I never played basketball for any accolades. When I grew up in Chicago and Detroit, it's a part of survival. It's a part of your community. It's part of your neighborhood. And to be the best, you had to go through the neighborhoods and play the best. And that's how you became the best. And if you made it out of the neighborhood alive, Michael Bronca can attest to that. And lastly, I'd just like to thank, you know, everybody, my family members that were able to make it here today, my mother, my children, my best friend for life, EJ. I mean, it's great. We've seen marriages, we've seen children born. We've seen graduations. His daughter graduated last year. It's just a beautiful thing. Thank my brother for being here. Once again, he was there when I was dribbling in the basement. He knows. He's seen it all, you know. And I'd like to thank some of the coaches that made me who I am today. One was a gentleman named Dr. Tucker. He was an older gentleman, about 65 years old. But he ran a small church gym in the city of Detroit. And literally, he saved a whole neighborhood of children. We played on a hard tile floor, but he taught fundamentals. We used to do layups. And if we missed, then we'd do jumping jacks. You remember that down here? All night. Some nights we didn't get a chance to play. But it built character. It built discipline. And I have to thank him for that. You know, also my high school coach. My high school coach nurtured my talent. I remember being one of the top young players in the city and in my school. But my coach would always tell me, because I wanted to play. All players want to play. I remember my freshman year, my sophomore year, my junior year, coach, I want to play, I want to play. And he used to always tell me, Watt, I serve no wine before it's time. He must have knew what he was talking about. Because my senior year, my brother can attest to this, I won every major award in the city of Detroit in 1 year that most players had accomplished in 3, 2, 4, and I took every award. And lastly, I would like to say one thing. I would just like to thank everybody that's here today, because this award is more about giving than receiving. You know, for me at this stage, my life means more when I'm helping others and giving to others. Right now, I have one trophy now. That's that trophy. All my accolades, all my trophies, I have none of them, you know, because it was never for that. It was just for the love of the game. Thank you.
Anthony Watson. Another of the great, not good, this place is for great, the Hall of Fame, great athletes. Many have come back here today to see them. I thank you for being here, because you see, it's not just, it isn't about baskets, it's not about the triple jump, those are all the things that are in there in terms of ingredients for the voters, but when they come here with their families, then you see the character and the integrity of these Aztecs for life. And to me, like I said, that's what makes this the most special day of the Aztec calendar, period.